What?
Hey everybody, you listen to the Combo Wombo podcast. I'm Chipmunk with these always the Mr. Gimpy.
What's going on, Chip? Happy
What's
Saturday,
happening?
brother.
Yeah, dude, we're doing this one early, dude. We could release it later, dude.
Early. We're releasing it tomorrow at the time.
Yeah, release the Kraken, dude.
But we gotta. Life happens, man. Life happens. Sometimes we gotta pivot. I'm glad you had some time today, and I had some time.
Yeah,
knock the pod out here. We should probably record like we did before and just have stuff in the tank. But I like having some of that new information just ready to go too. You know, like if we gotta
anything
pivot.
New popped off, anything crazy?
Man. Let's just start it right off.
Early news, dude.
Xbox Dev Stream happened 2 days ago, and Microsoft announced a release date for Doom Dark Ages. Two other games that I don't really care about. I'm sorry for anyone who does, but the one that I care about, Ninja Gaiden 4, was formally announced, man.
Ninja.
So coming fall 2025, and that day they released Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. So clearly I'm a big Ninja Gaiden fan. I've had that wall cling behind me forever. I've had it. It's lasted through different apartments in my home and all that. So that's come with me. And that's one of my most prized pieces of fandom that I have. My wife got that for me when we were dating, actually. So I've had it for quite some time. So
he's been looking out, dude. He's been watching the whole time, lurking.
Yeah. So that cling behind me is over 10 years old, but still pristine, still doing its job, still repping. Dude. So I kind of dropped everything. I'm not like I was in the middle of playing through some newer games and stuff. Indiana Jones, fantastic game. Playing through that, do recommend it if you want like a good single player adventure. And you have the series. You have the Series S, so I believe it still runs on that. I think all Microsoft games have to.
Little standalone? Is it like a video game? Is it like a movie? Is it more like the Ghostbuster video game that they made? No.
It's set. It's set. I think it's set before or in between Temple of Doom and Last Crusade, or maybe Raiders and Temple of Doom. It's an interquel kind of thing, but it's its own thing. But it's definitely Indiana Jones. Like it feels like you're playing a movie, like you know what I mean, like in a good way, playing a movie. So, and it's funny because so many different game properties came out. Like Tomb Raider was inspired by Indiana Jones. So it's just one of those things. Uncharted, Indiana Jones. Yeah,
it was like damn,
exactly.
That became a movie, dude. Tomb Raider became a movie.
So we've seen things kind of flip flop. So it's nice to play as Indy and have a very very good voiceover for. Indy, actually, this sounds just like Indiana Jones. So
adventures, dude.
Yeah.
Serialized adventures of ancient civilizations, dude.
Yeah. So I mean, you know what, man? It's great, and it's nice to have a game that does what I think games should do. Like if you're using a movie property, I love it when they make their own experience. But the movie happened, or like I think one of the best movie games like ever was the Chronicles of Riddick game, Escape from Butcher Bay, where they mentioned Butcher Bay in like the films, but you never saw it, and then you played through it. So I think it added, like a little bit to that character, expanded the world, but it didn't lessen the game. So doing that feels great. Sound design in Indiana Jones is great, but we're not talking about Ninja Jones. We're talking about Ninja Gaiden. So
dude, whatever happened to Jiu-Jitsu hand signs, dude?
They're still happening. I mean, Boruto's still a thing.
Is he still rocking them?
He is,
I feel like they kind of stop with the
no,
whole...
they still do. It's just not it's become one of those things where it's been so popular where it's just a part of things now. It's just a part of life. You don't notice it anymore because people are doing it.
Old Naruto around like episode 60.
Really? Like the original series?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Like I don't know. Like as soon as the spoilers a little bit for Naruto. As soon as like the Hokage died after the Chunin exams, I was just like, oh, no one else is ever probably gonna die in the series. Like I was like, this was its peak. I don't know, like much like we're talking about like series and like where to end and how they begin, or like if you're doing like a prequel or something.
Were we talking about that?
Yeah, a little bit. Like
okay,
because like we're talking about like video games and like how to make a good tie-in video game to a series or a standalone property. So what I found is like what people tend to do is they'll be like, oh, let's do like them as like little kids and everyone was always friends all along, or
the Transformers.
Like this is how Indiana Jones got his hat. The Chronicles of Indiana Jones Jr. the stories, you know, or you know, the Muppet Babies. The Muppet Babies, a lot of it, dude. They're like, oh, remember, like we were all always friends, and all of the most important things had already happened.
Yeah,
like, you know, I don't know if you watch like Han Solo movie, like standalone movie. Yeah, where he's like, all right, this is how he gets his name. This is how he gets the Millennium Falcon. It's like, bro, that was like the least interesting things about like these characters is like the stuff they have. It's like, you know, the actual
it's trying to be clever for clever's sake and not just making it evolve with the story. It's they don't know. I think it's because they hit those things as fans of the character versus letting the character kind of guide you through writing it. You know, it's one of those writing prompts where you put your shoes in the character and not you show your own reverence for the character. I think that's a big thing with both those properties.
How did the Ryu become the Ninja Gaiden, and how can we tie that in? You know,
but
the demon
so the
clan, dude.
So Ninja Gaiden 2, Black 2.
What was the reporter's name?
Reporter? You mean Irene Liu?
Yeah,
Irene Liu. She was
was she in like all the series?
Yeah, she was a CIA agent. Yeah, she was a CIA
damn
agent.
It, dude. It was like in the old NES games, dude.
Yep,
and they just
and she's
like,
his
remember
wife.
The most important thing.
Yeah, she's no, she wasn't a reporter. She was a CIA agent.
All right,
but
I swear,
Irene
like
Liu.
in 2, she was like in the NES. She was like a reporter, dude. She was like here on the scene.
She wasn't, bro.
All right, dude.
Bro, I have the games next to me, bro. Don't test me on it, brother. This is not a fight you win.
I'm just asking questions, dude.
Yeah, and she was also in Ninja Gaiden 2. So, you know, at the end of the game, she revealed, she's like, oh, that was a code name. My real name's Irene. So, you know, full circle. But Ninja Gaiden Black 2, I've been playing through. So they took what was in Sigma 2, which Sigma 2 removed blood, but they kept the blood, they kept the dismemberment. It runs at up to 120 FPS now, rock solid. Has
Would you
HDR
be interested
support.
in like a standalone game, like a spin-off of just his waifu, like how she got into the CIA and like her adventures in the CIA?
I mean, sure, why not?
For, like the CIA versus like ninja shenanigans, dude.
I mean, that's kind of what you get in the game itself. So
yeah, but this is like your happens. It's kind of like the reverse of a power fantasy, dude. It's like a Dark Souls where it's like everybody else has godlike ninja powers, and you just try to survive. Like
I mean, you know, I'm open for whatever, man. But
using wit and cunning, dude.
But yeah, no, Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, and I keep messing that name up. It's just whatever it is.
Black Deuce.
You know, yeah, it's the game I know and love. What's funny is I was talking to with my buddy, and I was like, you know what? I turned HDR off for the first 2 levels and he's like, what the fuck? Why? He's like, I was like, it just messes with my nostalgia. He's like, that can't be right. He's like, what the hell? Is something wrong with your system? I was like, no. See, when I played through Ninja Gaiden 2 originally, it was on like my parents' 55-inch HD TV from 2003. So I'm used to how it looked, and I was a person who played that game over and over again and tried to perfect things, and those first 2 stages are kind of, you know, what you spent your time grinding on to just try and perfect. So like that how that looked is just etched into my memory. So seeing it in HDR and some of the shadows and stuff and the naturalness just
the rough edges.
It just bugs me. Like, it looks fine, it looks great if it's your first time or second time playing it, but it just bugged me. So then I'm on stage 3 now, so I turn it back on. And
this is how you end up buying an old ass CRT.
Yeah, this is it. You're right. But
you guys that being said, $100 on some shitty old monitor, dude. Like, this is how it was meant to be played, young blood. Come up here, sit on Punk's lap. Let's play this game, Ninja Gaiden on the NES.
Yeah. That's the game I'm playing right now, man. So I'm probably gonna beat that quick. You know, I completed. Man, I lost my train of thought. I'm just gonna end there.
Perfect.
Who gives a shit what I did? But yeah, man, just that happened, and
played it in the historic mode, dude.
It was something that I wasn't expecting, so it was a nice surprise during the week. So how about yourself, man? Anything going on this week that shocked you? You've been gaming. I've seen you've been online a little more than usual.
I mean, I've just been posting on like the Discord with the boys. I usually like check in every day to see if anybody's around and everyone's still gone. Usually I get home, I've just been listening to this audiobook. It's not good, but there's a lot of it, which helps. Like if you're like stuck in an office all day and you like want to escape into a fantasy world, I was like, all right, let me just listen to this shitty audiobook. The protagonist is kind of not great. Like the plot just kind of happens to him, and everyone kind of loves him, and he's like super overpowered, but like for some reason doesn't want to use his overpowered abilities to solve the problems, because he's like, I don't want to show my whole power because I don't know, reasons. Like he's just always like, And everyone's like, it doesn't make sense. He's one of the most strongest people on the whole continent. Why doesn't he just use his kung fu? And he's like, I'm good, dude. He's like, there might be somebody secretly stronger somewhere. And everyone's like, no, literally, you're like the strongest dude. Like,
so listening, you listen to audiobooks quite a bit, and like some, fan made, doujins and stuff. And so I'm curious, is that giving you the itch to create again, or are you just enjoying the ride right now?
I've just been enjoying the ride. Dude, in this book, dude, there's a quote, and I'll drop it right here, dude. I have the heart of a minor peasant, dude. Like, I don't long for like these fantastical things to, like, I don't have like the heart of a lion, bro. I got the heart of a minor peasant, bro. I'm not like, I gotta be creative. I need my art out here. Like, I always maybe talked about this. I don't know if we have, or at least said it down here, where it's like you gotta be a little bit like delusional to like want to create something.
We've talked about it more in life.
Yeah. Just like, I don't know, to be like pursuit of artistic endeavors, like you need to be a little bit delusional to be like, I got something important to say. I need to work on this, or like I can convince other people to give me hundreds of thousands of dollars and spend their time to like work on this thing that I have, it's crazy, man. But yeah man, the reason why I was going with that, I was just the reason why, dude, I haven't been too inspired to
you
do
just wanted
nothing,
to
dude.
get the quote out.
I
just asked that because we shared a game design doc with each other last week for a strategy game that honestly I was thinking more and more about it, and I'm like, this could be fun. This could be fun to make. And
I think about that a little bit, dude. Here and there.
Now we haven't decided on an engine. I know you said you're thinking about Game Maker, just pursuing it with Game Maker to do that. I have committed to doing a couple of projects in Godot, just like small things like I did in the summer to just see how the engine works. So I'll see what I like, but yeah, dude, I'm excited for that idea. I think that
I was playing a little Hearthstone, and then I was like, just today I was like writing out everything in a spreadsheet, like how the game works mechanically for like an events system. Like if you're doing C#, I think it's called like events, where you kind of like set up like these things that can only happen during certain things, type of things, like big structures of like phases of a game or something.
Sure.
You would do this in like a turn-based RPG, or like in Hearthstone, like a turn-based card game or something. So I was looking at that. I was like kind of breaking it down and like writing like the minor mechanics in how they operate within different phases and stuff. While listening to my book, dude, like, I don't know, I do weird shit like that, dude. Like I haven't been like plotting or like thinking like about anything great. I've just been like I just started like idle game. I was listening to this book right before we started this up, like
so
just vibing, bruv.
You let you get too far off on a tangent. For everyone listening, Chip and I, we were discussing, perhaps collabing on another project that's not a game jam, something a little longer form where we don't have a time crunch and we can really spend our time.
Are you talking about codename Project Butt Cheeks? Prepare to be clapped.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. So nice little strategy game. So I've been looking at it. I appreciate the doc you wrote up. It's very in depth. The name is, I have to explain to people if I'm looking at it in public, like, what the hell? It's like, why are you looking across over my shoulder, bro? Don't worry about it.
Smut, dude.
Don't worry about Project Butt Cheeks.
It's a very professional looking document, dude.
But I do think that that project, at least for me, let me do some of the Godot stuff just because I'm curious. And as you know, I'm working on the Game Maker mobile game project right now, but I think that's going to become my writer's block, kind of a pivot to just work on, if that's cool with you. I don't know how deep you want to take it, but I don't want to juggle too many things right now, but I think
dude, I'm not doing nothing, dude. I'm just vibing, bro. To me, like, that's I don't know, I've said this before, where it's like I've kind of like, and like I think like anyone listening to this, you gotta just steal like what you enjoy most about like these things, because they're huge endeavors. Like anything, like a movie or a video game, like you just look at the credits. There's hundreds of people working on these things, and it's like if you enjoy things, like I don't mind writing up like technical documentation. I don't mind like doing like level design stuff. I don't mind like building out like gray boxing levels. I like coming up with like interesting ideas on mechanics, but I don't like necessarily like the nitty gritty programming, like everything. Cause like to me, that's like the more boring stuff. I enjoy like the challenge of things. I enjoy like learning new stuff as well, like new systems or new software. So if it's like, oh, like, you know, I went deep on like little JS and Excalibur JS for like 2 months where I was like reading through all the documentation and making stuff. And I made like a few little projects and stuff. But like, to me, like the fun thing was just like learning those new systems and that new software. It wasn't like, oh, I got this great idea for a game that I want to make, like that's in that. I was just like, oh, let me tear this apart real quick and read through it and try and learn something.
Definitely. And I think that being said too, I think that, you know, in 2025, one of the things I'd like to focus on is like some of the smaller creators, like finishing things up, you know, just because after doing the game jam that we participated in a few months ago, some of the creators were on the forum posts were very jovial and helped out. Some were very salty on certain things, and you know, I don't want to just bring negativity to a creative space because everyone's learning, everyone's trying their best, right? Yeah, so, and then sometimes, you know, people are like, I don't. Like I was looking at the GMTK jam, that the winner here, like some of the people who placed top 20 made videos and they were like upping the other people. And I think that's an awesome thing. And one of the things with game jams is sometimes you have so many people participating that something gets lost in the shuffle, right?
Yeah, dude.
And you have a lot of people going, oh man, I don't want to do it, my game sucks or whatever. No, you're your own worst critic, right? Yeah. So a lot of times like smaller games like student projects or like game jam games that maybe someone really liked the idea and they went and polished it up and released it to no one. You know, that happens. That's probably what's going to happen to most games you create, let's be honest, right?
Yeah, dude,
like,
it's not like, I think most people believe in like Macho Man Randy Savage, with the cream always rises to the top. But it's we're not in meritocracy, dude. Like you're competing against like an ocean and you're like a little drop of water, and you know, these companies pay hundreds of millions of dollars just to get like in front of your eyeballs for like, you know, 10 seconds for an ad. You know, it's like that's what you're competing with, is like they're hoping like, so I don't know, I was talking with my one buddy about this the other day where he was like, oh, how come Hollywood's not doing like any like new ideas and stuff? And I was like, they're creating products now, and like they're just, you're spending so much money and so much time on something like I don't know. It's but I've also always said like, don't let the first like barrier to your success be you. Like don't be like the first no is you know? Like you always like you're gonna, I don't know, it was corny as that sounds, like you're gonna miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And I don't know, I do enjoy like art and the process of making art, and I don't mind doing it like in a vacuum for myself. I think you should have some goals though, like before you even like, you know, set out, because that way like you can mitigate like disappointment and failure and like, or sadness, and like be like, what even are those things? It's very like abstract. You're like, oh, this is a failure. It's like, is it? You finished? Like, what was your real goal? Like if like your goal was like, oh, I'm gonna blow up and be famous or do this, it's like, well then like you should have been building a social media following. Like you should have never like
right.
You know,
it
like,
doesn't happen like from nothing.
You had like a good goal, but like you like were already putting like your efforts behind like the wrong thing because like you weren't focusing on your goal, like type of thing. Sure. So I don't know, like we've said, like even doing like this podcast where it's like we just want to do like a fun informational thing, and we're hobby level people doing this and to a niche audience. And like, but like we were clear about that from the jump, and I think that's why we've been so satisfied with it. That's why we continue with it. That's why you see so many other people who do podcasts who just like fail or like wash out after like one or two things, and they're like, well, didn't blow up, this is done. It's like, all right, dude, like you should have been like building like, you know, some sort of social media presence. You should have been adding value to people's everyday lives some other way to get those eyeballs on you, you know.
True.
And
wow.
So I don't know, like if you're doing like a game jam or like you're creating something like artistic, like you should be clear about your goal and what you enjoy about those processes, and like what avenue you want to even like, you know, go after. And again, like I was telling my coworker about this, because we're talking about like products and stuff. He's like, how come like there's nobody creating like interesting and new stuff? And I was like, they are. It's just out there. It's like those water drops in the ocean. Like you could think of like you know, George Lucas or Steven Spielberg, where he was like doing things on like, you know, was it 8mm or whatever camera, like home recordings. I was like, that's YouTube. Like it's something almost like 1 billion hours of video gets uploaded to like build like YouTube every single day. It's like there's probably like hundreds of thousands of like really high quality stuff out there. It's just like it's just lost in that ocean for now. And then like 20 years from now, people are gonna like it's gonna surface up and be like, oh man, do you see this? Oh, they've always been around. Look at it. It's it's that old saying, like it takes 10 years to be an overnight success or whatever.
Like, exactly.
So I think we're gonna see more things rise up over time if those people like stay committed and like, keep honing in their craft and keep developing and taking good faith criticism.
Yes.
But it's hard to do.
Yeah. I know
it's even harder to do too. Like again, you're in even bigger competition.
Yeah, it's a great set of points. I didn't want to interrupt you at all because you were cooking.
Yeah,
but with that all being said, that's all really good info. I do want to highlight a smaller project that our buddy Crab turned me on to the other day. A game available on itch.io. The link will be in our description, and it'll be on both YouTube and the podcast version.
You're putting on your Twitter.
A little, I'll throw it on there too.
On your ex, dude.
Yeah, dude. What do you mean my ex? Our ex,
so whatever, dude.
But a little game called Greed and Darkness. It's a first-person dungeon crawler that has some. And it was a student project. For a group
is this like what I was saying we should make, dude?
It's very close to what you're saying we should make.
Damn,
with this dungeon
I
crawler,
told you,
but
dude,
I suggest you
play
it. Play it for the love of God. Anyone who tries this game, play it with headphones. The sound design is just chef's kiss. Perfect.
Dang,
so
crispy, dude.
I just shout out to those devs. The game can be beaten within like an hour or so. So it's a very small project, but the level of polish, the animation, it definitely made me. I turned off the game smiling, and I've played it a couple more times and beaten it a few more times. It's fantastic. So shout out to the Greed and Darkness devs as well. But yeah, man, with that all being said, the next couple of weeks, I'm really putting my nose down and grinding on some of the game maker fronts here. I have the mobile license too, so I'm going to try and start putting deploying things on there just to get my game feel right. So I'll be sharing that with everyone. Other than that, man, like my day job, we've been busy, so I've been exhausted. So it's one of those things where I've been traveling around. I'm going to be traveling around a little bit more too, and it's one of those things where I don't want to be on a computer after work because it's been so exhausting, So we'll document all that through the pod. I'm still gaming, we're still chatting. There's still opinions to be had, but
marathon, dude, not sprint, dude.
For sure. But
I mean, this was like your New Year's resolution, dude. It's like you get 1 month in. How's that been going? You've been still working on, still focused on it.
I work on it. At minimum, so far in the month of January with the New Year's resolution, I have worked on it at least. I average about probably 3 days a week working on it.
All right, that's pretty huge, dude.
Yeah, I think so.
It's a lot of time. Man.
And most of it's been concept art and refining the game design document. I've actually opened up Game Maker now and gotten some stuff to pad, and I have the Pig AI rudimentally starting.
Told you this when you started, or maybe I just thought it and I was like, I didn't want to tell you because I didn't want to like dishearten you, but I was like, because I was like, I think like you came to me and you're like, oh, I'm gonna finish this in a couple of weeks, and like in my head I'm like, it's probably gonna take like 3-4 months. No,
I didn't mean.
I might have said that to you at some
point. You have, but you're right.
I was like, all right, you want to develop to Android? It's probably gonna take you like 3 or 4 months to like finish, like realistically, like and that maybe is like full time. Maybe even think that's kind of like optimistic.
Yeah. Like right now, I just want a prototype. That's the prototype. If I really grind to it, like grind out, probably take a couple weeks to prototype.
Again, like that's been the reason why I haven't really started anything, because I could have more realistic time frames on things, and like I don't. It's kind of like you said, like once you're done with like work, it's like the last thing I want to do is be like, oh, let me like start grinding out like something else I don't really care about, and like you need to be able to like do that, like. Especially if like you have a set schedule like that, where you're like trying to do 2 or 3 days at a time, even where you're like, you got show up and put in the work, even like when you don't want to. And it's going to be easy until like you get towards like the end of like that time frame of like that, like by month 3, when you like just want to be done with it. And you're like, it's so close to being done. I'm just doing minor bug tweaks or fixes or things that only I'll notice. Like
exactly. And
that's problems.
That's something that I just want to do. Right. Cause I haven't done it. It's just something it's one of those goals in life where a big thing that I've been saying is hearing people say, oh, I wish I could do this, or I want to do this, I always wanted to do that. What's stopping you from doing it right now?
Do it, dude. Don't let that first
we just gotta
barrier
be exactly
be you,
so,
dude. Don't let the first no be you to yourself.
Exactly. So that's what I'll end the pod on, man. Just what's stopping you from doing that? Doing that,
I will say I've like as weird as this sounds, like I've reached out to like when I've been broke and stuff to like different like people who do software and stuff. I'm like, hey man, this is what I'm trying to make. Is there a way you can help me out with this? And they're like, yeah, here's like a discount coupon. Oh, here's like a code. Oh, like I can't help you with that, but like here's this thing. Or yeah, there's like a sale on this thing coming up. Or like no, like sometimes people just say no, but like I don't know, it's like free to sit down and like send those like emails off to like people if like you need help with stuff. And I don't know, it's I don't know, it's free to do. And like people are gonna say no, but don't let that be you to yourself. Like
don't be afraid to ask, right?
Yeah, but like you gotta do the work too, man. You gotta like start putting in the hustle behind that muscle.
For sure. And on that
it's
note,
corny, dude. I don't know. We need like I feel like everyone else is doing the resolution, in January 1st. Dude, we gotta start the end of January, dude. That's when everyone's like fading out from it. Dude.
That's true. That's true. Gotta keep it going. Keep it going.
Let's see where we'll check in again towards the end of February. We'll see where people at.
All right, man. For the Combo Wombo podcast, I'm Mr. Gimpy. That's
Chipmunk.
Like, share, subscribe, follow us on X because I keep remembering to update it. Kinda. All right, take care, everybody.
Peace.